So for the most part, iOS 27 has been fantastic. It's extremely stable, the Siri enhancements have been awesome, and it's what we were promised 2 years ago, and it's finally coming to fruition. But it's kind of a double-edged sword because you have some good news as well as some not so good news. The good news being that Apple's supporting devices up to the iPhone 11 and newer, meaning that a 7-year-old device will be getting the brand new version of iOS 27. But the not so good news is that there's kind of tiers to this new update where you need an iPhone 15 Pro or newer to get any of the new Siri AI and Apple Intelligence enhancements. So I want to break down in this video all the non-Siri and non-Apple Intelligence updates for the people that have an older device so they can still kind of look at the iOS 27 and see every single feature, because there's still a ton of amazing features that are going to improve your day-to-day. So without further ado, let's break down every single non-Apple Intelligence related update to iOS 27. Let's get into it. Well, alright everyone, let's get right into this. And like I mentioned, we're going to be talking about all things iOS 27 that have nothing to do with Siri AI, so you understand what features you're getting. I am using my 17 Pro here to show this off. And I know people are going to ask, this is Kyuxu's D5, I'll link it down below, a great 3-in-1 charger. But let's jump into the first one, which is going to be a visual tweak and enhancement. So if we go into our general, go into where it says appearance, we now have a liquid glass, not just a toggle, but a slider. And what I like about this is that it does actually demo it live to show you how much you're actually changing it. So you can see here, I like to have it as glassy as possible just because it gives it kind of a nice visual look for me personally. But you can slide it, and it does have a couple notches, and in those notches you do get some haptic feedback, but you actually can leave it in between the notches. So just because there are notches doesn't mean that those are the only 3 options. You can actually go through and go all the way over here. You can kind of leave it in the middle if you want. You can go 1/10 of the way there, and then you can actually go through this to demo it and scroll through to see how different backgrounds change what the actual glassiness looks like. So if I go a little bit more opaque here, you can see that it's a lot more blurred. Versus if I go here, you can see right through the bottom, which is good to see. So that's going to be the first, liquid glass being more customizable. The next one's going to be in the widget. So I'm actually going to go over here and change this a little bit. So if I long press on here, let's actually customize this. We're going to customize it. We're going to change it so you guys can see all the different icons a little bit better, because the liquid glass does kind of change that up. But if we long press on here, we actually got 11 brand new widgets. But not just that, we actually got a brand new widget size. And people are saying, including myself, this is going to be nice for a foreshadow into iPhone's foldable iPhone, because again, it would make sense for that to have full screen widgets. So if we go into the music app, that's one of the ones that got a full screen widget. So this is what it looks like. You add this widget and it takes up the entirety of the screen. Well, not really the whole screen, but takes up all the surface area that you would see where the apps would go. So again, we got 11 new ones, and some of the ones that do support it are going to be the music app, the photos app, the weather app, and the calendar app, among a few, but that's going to be brand new inside of iOS 27. So now the next one's going to be on the lock screen, and you're able to customize this just a little bit more. So of course, I already have it in the customization mode right here, as you can see. And now if you click on the clock right here, you have this option that you can click on there, and you can actually bring the clock into this area of the lock screen, whereas before you weren't able to do that. So if you have maybe an image or something where the clock is either blocked by a person's face or by the subject, you can just move the clock up there to understand what time it is, and you can press this again to make it come back. So a nice little customization feature in the lock screen. And then another thing in the lock screen is that you can actually swipe away the now playing. Before you actually can do that, you could tap on there, so it brings you this kind of large screen of the album art. You can tap on here again to get rid of it. But now you can actually swipe across to clear the now playing. Now it doesn't pause the music, and the media is still playing in the background. As you can see here, if I long press on here, I go into the control center, you can see that we still have the pause button there, meaning that it is actively playing, but that is another new feature of the lock screen. Now this next one is one of those features where you're like kind of baffled that wasn't a thing before, and a lot of people have been wanting this. But if we go back into our settings here, and if we go into our sound and haptics, you actually have the ability to change the system volume for certain types of categories. So for instance, you have your ringtone, which you have the slider there, but then down here you have alarms and timers, as well as alerts and system sound. So previously, this one slider controlled all 3 of these categories of sound, but now if you toggle these off, you get a brand new slider for each one of these, so you can individually tweak which one of these sliders is going to work for you from a sound standpoint, in terms of how loud you want your alarm versus how loud you want maybe your system sounds. I like to kind of keep them all matched up because just for simplicity's sake, but it is nice that that option is now there. The next one's going to be in the Photos application. So if you go into any video, I remember I would do this all the time. I would actually pause a video if I needed to grab one of the frames, and then I would just screenshot that video in that frame to get the image that I wanted. But now it's built in directly into the application. So you can see here, this is the video of me opening up the freezer. And what I can do now is actually just make sure that it's paused, hit the 3 dots up here, and then you have this option that says Save Video Frame as Photo. We can tap on that, it'll save it as a photo. So then if you swipe over, it'll show up right next to the video, and now you have this image that was part of one of the frames in the video. So now the next one's gonna be in the music application. So the music app got a brand new AutoMix feature. Now this feature came out with iOS 26, but it's gotten so much better with iOS 27. So if you go into the settings, go into your music settings, scroll down to where it says song transitions, you tap in here, you wanna make sure that AutoMix is checked off versus the regular crossfade. Now this is gonna be tough to show you, so I highly recommend just testing it out yourself. I don't wanna get copyrighted music, but basically it's able to elongate the song of whatever you're playing if it needs to then blend in what the other song that's playing next is gonna do, which is a great way and a great use case of the AutoMix feature, and it sounds wonderful. And then the next feature is that there's now a bunch of native Apple applications, and I'm sure third-party ones will start to adopt this, but you actually now get support for landscape mode. Now this hasn't really been a thing since I believe the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus. I remember the 8 Plus you're able to even rotate the home screen and things like that, but now apps like the Reminder app have this now landscape view. And again, people are saying this is a foreshadow into the foldable iPhone because when you do open up the folding iPhone, it's gonna be more of a landscape view. But if you go into the weather app, this is another one that supports it. If I go this way, again, you see that it's pretty hot right now and things like that. So overall, more applications we're going to be able to support that landscape view. So the Find My application also got a big revamp here. You can see that the logo's down here a little bit different, especially the items section, which is cool to see. So that's going to be a brand new addition to the Find My app. But one thing to notice here is that you are able to actually stop sharing your location, but be a little sneaky about it in terms of that now the other person that you're sharing that location with won't actually be notified, versus before, it would always notify the person like, hey, this person stopped sharing location. And now to do this is actually very simple. All you have to do is click on the person that maybe you're sharing location with, you press the three dots right here, and then you press this hide location. You can tap on there, and then it says hiding until tomorrow at 4 a.m. The other person on the other end is not notified about this. You can unhide the location right away and it'll happen immediately. So again, that's a nice little addition if that's something that you do. So now another one that I wanted to bring up is inside the Wallet application. This one has been amazing and it's something that I'm so glad Apple brought, and it's something called Create a Pass. Basically what it does is it takes a physical card, membership, pass that you have, and then turns that into a digital pass using the barcode that's on the card itself. So for instance, here I have my Costco membership card. The way that I created this is by taking an image of the actual photo of the physical card, and then it turned it into a digital wallet card right here. So this barcode that's on there is the exact barcode and it works. So I was able to scan this at Costco. Now I got a little bit of pushback from the employee because I don't have my face on here and they're very adamant for that specific situation that I'm ID'd correctly. But again, it does physically work. So imagine gym memberships, imagine again, Costco, anything that has a physical pass that doesn't have a digital pass can now be digitized. And if you view the original photo, this is all I did. I took a picture of it, it scanned it, and then it was good to go. So in that same light with the Apple Wallet app, we now got a brand new UI when you do decide to check out via Apple Pay. So if you buy something here with Apple Pay, I kind of set this up. You can see, if you give it a second, that we now have this UI here. You can switch between the cards if you want to. It's kind of like a carousel look. All the information is there. And you also have that new addition that you can use American Express points to help you pay off or reduce the actual cash price of whatever you're purchasing. So you can see here, pay in full or use rewards. I can tap in here. I can use my membership reward points to save $5.30 on here because you're getting, I think, 0.7 cents on the dollar or on the point. But again, that's just a new UI as well as a new feature of the Apple Wallet app, specifically with Apple Pay. This next one has been absolutely amazing for the day-to-day use, and it's basically the first kind of situation of a clipboard manager that we've ever had natively built in the iOS application. So if you copy anything, whether it's text or a photo or a file or a video, so for instance, I'm going to take this, let's actually copy it. So we'll copy the photo. When you open up any sort of text field, whether it's an iMessage in the Notes app or an email, you now get this prompt right here that says item, paste from photos. I can press that and it will paste it from photos right away. So anytime you reopen up the keyboard after you've copied something, the first option instead of maybe the word suggestions is going to be the suggestion to actually paste that item. The next one's going to be in the Messages application, but we got to go into our settings first. So if we go into our settings and go into the Messages app, scroll down to where it says Show in text field, you now have an option to turn off and on and also switch what you see in the actual text bar inside of iMessage. So you have the ability to record audio, start dictation, or completely turn it off. So if I open up a new iMessage, you can see that we have the waveform guide right there, which is going to be the record audio. I can then press start dictation to change that. So if we go back, you can see that it's now a microphone instead of the waveform guide. And then lastly, of course, you can turn it off. And you can see that at the end of the text field, nothing is there. So a little bit more customization to be able to do that and also distinguish between phone dictation as well as actual voice memos, which is a big issue that I had early on. The next one's going to be dual capture, but during FaceTime. The best way to show this off is in the camera app itself. So if I go into video here, you can tap on these dots and you have the dual capture ability. So I'm able to see not only what I'm recording with the back camera, but then also what I'm recording with the front camera at the same time. As you can see, you're able to do that. And now you can do that within a FaceTime as well, making it much easier. Now for dual capture, both on the Photos app as well as in FaceTime, you do need to have an iPhone 17 or newer in order to do this. But let's say you have an iPhone 17 and you are FaceTiming with somebody who has maybe an iPhone 13, you can still do the dual capture and they can see your dual capture situation. They are just unable to do the same thing back for you. And now in that same light, you can see that the camera application looks a little bit different. So again, this 3-dot menu is a little bit different. You can turn off everything. You can do the grid, the leveler, change the exposure from there. On the top, you also have some kind of translucent looking options as well to give you just quicker access to things like that. So you can tap on here to see if you can go with 4K, log, HDR, whatever the case may be. You have your dual capture button up there again. So if you do want to go with dual capture, you can do that. You have your shortcuts for action, as well as being able to turn the flash off and on. If you long press on here and start moving around, you can see this whole scrollable menu. So the camera app itself is just much easier to navigate for the average person, especially. The next one's going to be in the fitness application. This is going to be more of a visual change up, especially for workout summaries. So for instance, you can see that I had a traditional strength workout yesterday, and you can see that it all blends in nicely. Whereas before there was like a harsh cut here. Now you can see that it blends nicely, gives you all the information, the weather, your statistics. Another good one, I like to kind of show off the running one. So if we go to an outdoor run, it gives you the map of your outdoor run. This is very Strava-like and very Aura-like, but of course with the Apple UI, which is great to see. So all the information is here that we've had before. It just looks a little cleaner overall. And then I do want to give you guys some rapid fire things in terms of what has been improved for everybody overall. Apps open up much faster. They say about 30 to 40% faster for the apps opening and closing. Something that is much more reliable is AirDrop. AirDrop is up to 80% faster for transferring, and more importantly, it's much more reliable. But then the last thing I want to show off requires me to turn off the phone, which is the ability to go into this recovery mode that you normally see on Macs. Before, to get into recovery or DFU mode, you had to plug in your iPhone, you had to kind of mess around with the buttons and do some sort of hieroglyphics to get it into that mode. But now to get into this new recovery mode, all you have to do is hold down the power button as if you were turning it on, and you should see the Apple logo pop up. And when that Apple logo pops up, you wait a second, it says continue holding for recovery. You can let it go to bypass this, or if you do want to enter that recovery mode, it says loading recovery mode options. You give it a second, it'll start to load up like this. Hopefully it's not resetting my iPhone in real time because that would be annoying. And now you have this view. Of course, it's a little bit darker here. I'm not 100% sure why, but you have your recovery assistant, software update, diagnostic mode, erase all content and settings, recovery mode. It says iOS version 27.0 and it gives you the build number. And then of course you can press this right here to get some more information, or you can press that power button to get out of here and then go back to normal. Let's actually do that to see if it works. And then voila, we're back. But those are all the different iOS 27 features that have nothing to do with Siri AI or Apple Intelligence. So there's an abundance of them to still take into account. And I haven't even gone over all the child safety and protection things, but we'll do that for another video. Let's finish it up here. So as you guys saw here, especially for older iOS devices that are getting iOS 27, the name of the game here is enhancements and optimization. Everything is snappier, it's making older phones feel newer, apps are moving quickly, everything is more fluid, and then on top of that, like I mentioned, we have a ton of new features that are actually great quality of life features that are gonna help you with your iPhone moving forward. So kudos to Apple for supporting so many iPhones with the new iOS 27, giving the iOS 11 liquid glass and everything that comes with it. But hopefully Apple will somehow maybe give us some version of Siri AI Lite, or maybe an Apple Intelligence Lite version for those older devices as well, so they can get a little bit of what we're getting on some of those newer iPhones. But let me know in the comment down below, what's your favorite new feature? What iDevice are you using with the iOS 27 update? Right now we're in public beta, with the public version more than likely releasing in September, but that'll do it everybody. If you did make it to the end, leave a little dolphin so I know that you made it to the end. And if you guys want to watch more videos like this one, check out one of these videos right here. Until next time, I'm Fernando. Peace everyone.